Hello everyone. So this video is going to be explaining the map Outback, which is going to be a staple map in the upcoming tournament Outback Rumble. So if we're taking a look at this map, the map is relatively open and flat and pretty similar to Arabia in many aspects. The key difference, however, is that there are no boars near the players. All of the boars are in the middle of the map here, and players have to lure them all the way from here. So this area is quite a bit far away, and a bit too far for players to comfortably lure with villagers. And if we consider luring with scouts, that doesn't really help out very much with civilization balance, because Eagle Scouts would be able to heal in the town center between lures, whereas normal cavalry scouts could not. So those civs would effectively get more boars than other civs. So that brings us to the scouting unit that we currently have in the map, which is the hunting wolf, which, ironically or not, is actually very good at hunting things. So this unit has some pretty interesting characteristics which are important to know in order to use it effectively. So the first thing to know is that it has different speeds. So if I'm moving it around the map, for example, it's going to walk at a very slow pace. And if I task it to attack something, for example a boar here, it'll start running at a much faster pace. So this is a useful thing to know when you're trying to get boars from the center. So I hit the boar twice, and then I can start walking back to the TC at the slow pace. And since the wolf and the boar are about the same speed, I don't have to babysit it so much as the boar is going from the middle to right back to the TC. And after taking some damage, it's important to know that the wolf will slowly regenerate its HP so that you can effectively lure as many boars as you want. So, besides that, there can be other situations in which you would want the wolf to move fast without necessarily attacking something, and that's possible to do. So instead of regularly right-clicking somewhere on the map, I can hold Shift and right-click, and it will run to that particular point when you're using waypoints. So it's also important to know that if the wolf is currently undergoing a task, like walking, and I want it to move quickly back here, it will have to move to its first point first at a slow pace before it starts running back to where it is supposed to go. Similarly, if you happen to be fighting the opponent's wolf and would like to disengage, it's not sufficient to just simply shift-click away, since it'll wait until it's done fighting. You'd have to move away slowly for a while and then shift-click in order to start running again. And also, since the wolf is still regenerating HP, you don't lose a whole lot when you successfully disengage. So the next thing we should talk about is the wolf's attack and defense statistics. So these are pretty ambiguous in the sense that if we just look at the wolf's interface here, that it doesn't show very much. But if we task it, we can see that the wolf has a base melee damage of 8, which is quite high for a Dark Age unit, and that makes it very strong versus villagers. So based on this, players may be incentivized to forego luring in favor of going straight to the enemy to snipe vills. But this is actually very risky business, and I will explain why. Because also what is hidden about the wolf's statistics is its armor, or more accurately, lack thereof. So most units in the game have a very high value for base armor, which makes it so that they don't take bonus damage against something that wasn't intentional. The wolf, however, is a fairly different unit, in the sense that it has 0 base armor, which effectively means that it takes bonus damage from every attack class. So if we take a spearman, for example, we can see that it has a base melee damage of 3, but we also know that a spearman has bonus damage. For example, against cavalry, some more against elephants, some other bonus damage against camels, some against ships and buildings, etc. So since the wolf has 0 base armor, all of that bonus damage that the spearman has will add up and apply to the wolf for a total damage dealt per hit of 67. So, based on that, it's no accident that the Outback map starts with the spearman. Since the wolf is very strong against villagers, the spearman is meant to balance it out and be very strong against the wolf. the wolf's lack of armor also makes it more vulnerable to town center fire. Since, for example, town center projectiles have bonus damage versus ships, and some more versus buildings, among other things, that will also apply to the wolf. And in this demonstration here, we can see that the scout is able to eat 10 villagers worth of arrows from the TC without dying, whereas for the wolf, it would only take 6 villagers worth of arrows to one-shot the wolf, despite the wolf having over double the HP of the scout. So, with the wolf's lack of armor, and with the very low line of sight, it can be quite a risk to approach your opponent's base. The more conservative use of the wolf is to use it to lure boars until you reach the feudal age, where the wolf's line of sight will be much bigger and will be able to see things that would kill it much sooner. So now you know enough about the wolf, its strengths and weaknesses, in order to play this map to its full potential. And hopefully, we can start seeing some really good games played on this map. And that's about going to do it for this map overview. And if there's anyone out there who is at all interested in learning how to make random maps, please feel free to watch some of my other videos. But I think that's going to be it for me for now. So yeah, thanks for watching.